I think we need to give Reverend Anthony another round of applause for that. It takes a lot of guts to be a reverend. Even more to be the kind of reverend who says, I don't understand what's going on right now. See, today we're talking about your authentic self. It's very authentic to be real with yourself and say in that moment, I don't know what's going on, but to trust in the process. Thank you for that. So since we're talking about our authentic selves today, what's up, cousin? I'm gonna do that to you every time you come in here late, too. You know that. Care how big you get, bruh. I'm gonna leave you alone, So all the 80s babies in here, we remember He-Man, right? I used to love my He-Man. I took my He-Man with me everywhere. Now, my militant black dad, he bought me my He-Mans, but he felt a little funny about He-Man. It was something about seeing his black son playing with this blonde, blue-eyed doll that it used to eat him up inside, you know what I mean? He's like, hurt him. I'd be like, Dad, I'm gonna be just like He-Man one day. He'd be like, oh, God. I remember a few times he'd make me mad. I'd be like, I'm gonna get He-Man to beat you up. He'd never feel like, I'll kill He-Man. Like tears all coming down his eyes and stuff. So we all know where the Berkeley Flea Market is. One day Dad comes back from Ashby with something that was similar to He-Man but slightly different. Now, he was in the same pose, you know, He-Man had his arms bent, he had his chest all out. He had the same clothes, he even had the same weapons, but something was slightly different about He-Man. I'm looking at this He-Man figure and it says Sun Man on the box. I knew you'd know, I knew it. That's what I'm talking about, see? Every black father wanted their son playing with Sun Man. He was my shade, he had a big old afro, he was just like He-Man, only he looked like me. Dad walks in there all proud with his Sun Man, and he hands it to me. And he says, son, you can have this toy under one condition. I said, what's that, Dad? He said, every time him and He-Man play, make sure Sun Man whoop the mess out of He-Man. Like, all right. So Sun Man be serving He-Man just all through the house. But see, Sun Man wasn't manufactured by the same people He-Man was. He was a little cheaper. So eventually, every time Sun Man would punch He-Man, his arm would just pop off, you know what I mean? Then I cried, Dad have to go get me another one. I had like 3 different Sun Mans. I got the same He-Man. So after a while, my toy box, it looked like He-Man was, you know, hanging with 3 black amputees with afros. My father wanted his son to have knowledge of self. He wanted his son to know himself. He wanted his son to not grow up with a complex of who he was because of the toys that were put out that didn't really represent us at the time. He wanted me to be authentic and to know who I was. Sometimes we have these identity crises because of what the media tells us, that this is beauty or this is success. A lot of us don't even know what we want because we've still been allowing pop culture to tell us that this is what happiness is over here. Being authentic is the purest form of freedom there is. You don't get no freer. You could be living the life someone else wants you to have. You can have the money, you can have the car, you can have that Manhattan loft that everybody thinks you should have, but if you aren't happy, then how free are you? When we live from the ego, we become servants to it. See, the ego is never satisfied. I'm going to take a break. It's happening already. Let me get some water, y'all. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, I appreciate that. The ego is never, ever satisfied. You can never have enough stuff, enough accomplishments, enough status when you are trying to please the ego. It is only there to make you keep working at it. I remember when I was rapping back in the day, and I went by the name Ajax. It's the cleanest dude you ever knew, trust me. So clean that something else had to be attached to that Ajax. I called myself Ajax the Fly One. Now for all the elders in there, just ask a youngster what fly means. They'll let you know. I guess that's the equivalent of smooth or whatever y'all called it? Okay, smooth. Groovy, there we go. Ajax the groovy one. But see, with a name like that, I had to stay fly. I had to always make sure that I was holding myself to that standard. So I had this rule I gave myself about my wardrobe. If I ain't wore it on stage yet, I didn't get to wear it. So I had a closet full of stuff collecting dust, like, nope, ain't wore it on stage yet. All the Jordans, all the leathers, your boy was fly, y'all don't even know. So fly, in fact, that when it was time for us to go on the road, let's say something local like LA, everybody else got one bag and one carry-on. I'm the only person with 5 bags. 2 of them is for shoes alone. Everybody looking at us like, where y'all going vacation to? Like, oh, just LA. LA? But y'all moving there? That's not freedom to me. When you got to take 5 bags with you for a weekend in LA, that is not freedom. That's something else. That's something in your heart telling you that you are empty inside with all of these garments. That's the life I was living. See, being authentic is where real prosperity consciousness comes from. Amen. Once you are content with you, you spend a lot less money. Amen. You are able to save a lot more. Thank you. Thank you. It's that emptiness you feel where you feel like you have to search for something outside of you. You sitting at home feeling insecure, so you run to Macy's and charge yourself up some more debt. I done did it. Now I know that when you know in your heart that God is your source of supply, there was no need to go out there and spend so much money. Yes, amen. But the ego has this need to survive, this need to always be relevant in your life. Now, a lot of us say we want real love and companionship. But how many are willing to be themselves 100% of the time? Even exposing their so-called flaws to this new person you like. How many are willing to be authentic in that new situation? How is your perfect partner going to recognize you when you fronting to be somebody else this whole time? It's like they said, that first 3 years, you're not dating them, you're dating their representative. After that 3 years, like, oh, all right. We attract what we put out. That's the equation. You can't change that. You are only going to get what you put out. Being authentic only attracts authentic people. So that person was like, oh, I can't stand her, she fake. Yeah, I'm sure you see a lot of fake people in your life. Isn't it funny how so many pro athletes talk about their dating life, right? And they talk about how they wish so many people wouldn't be around them strictly for their money. I hear a lot of pro athletes say that. But then you look at what happened on the weekend in their life. They was in the club on a Tuesday making it rain. But in the same breath, you want people to appreciate you for you and not for your money. But all you are showing about yourself is that you're the dude with money. If you want us to see more, why don't you show us more? But see, we're not only talking about flashing dough and high-siding. We're also talking about being authentic with what we allow ourselves to feel. I admit, I too bought into the idea that men aren't supposed to be emotional. I too bought into that idea that we're not supposed to cry. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. We're not only supposed to not cry when we feel something, we're supposed to be angry instead. Amen. A lot of y'all know I act, and this last production I was in, my director told me that anger is a masked emotion. See, we choose to be angry as men because that's the stronger of feeling sad or afraid. So we put that forth instead, like, oh man, that dude's tough right there. He's angry, but inside, we know what's really going on. So what I'm realizing now is that the 4 men in my life who raised me, they're tough as nails, but they always felt comfortable crying in front of me. So that idea that I needed to not show my emotions, that idea that I needed to be something different from feeling vulnerable when I was feeling vulnerable, I picked that up somewhere else. They didn't give me that. So then I hear all the time from ladies, I just want a man who feels comfortable with his emotions and isn't afraid to be vulnerable. Fellas, y'all ever hear that? So you give it a try, right? You know, you go with her to see Precious or whatever the new sad movie is. Any man who cannot cry through Precious is a tough dude. Let me just say that. And it's like as soon as that first teardrop come out, that's when she be like, hop on the phone real quick, like, girl, he got feelings, girl. Him over here, yeah, he got feelings, girl. Not only us have bought into that idea that men aren't supposed to be emotional. We gotta change our idea how can you say you want a real person and you don't allow them to feel when they get cut? That's a robot, that ain't a person. Is that what you wanna be with? Someone who doesn't allow themselves to feel, someone who isn't human in a sense. I've been that person, and it shows up in other ways. Those emotions have to come out, trust me. Just because you're not crying doesn't mean you're not gonna cry in another way somewhere else in your life. Amen. It may show up as addiction. It may show up as a violent temper. It may show up as depression, but that emotion has to express itself. So please, just give me a hug and let them tears flow so we can move on. We do ourselves and the world a disservice when we don't allow our God self to come forward. We do ourselves and the world a disservice when we don't allow our God self to come forward. I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about my mom right now. I remember when she started to decide she wanted to lock her hair up. Now, for all the people who were around in the 80s, you know it was really only one person during that time on TV who had locks. And as much as we love Whoopi, you don't want nobody calling your mom Whoopi Goldberg. 90% of the fights I got in school, and I got in plenty of fights, was over this woman's hair right here. It got to the point to where I was begging her every morning with tears in my eyes, Mama, please cover your hair. Let me out down the street. Stop coming. Send someone else to pick me up. Mama, they teasing me, Mama, stop. And my mom would calmly look into my face and smile and said, I am who I am, boy. And I don't care what they say about me. Some of my closest friends even made fun of my mama's hair. Some of y'all in here right now, I won't butt you out, but yes, you did. You made fun of my mom's hair. I forgive you. But you fast forward today, those same friends didn't lock their hair up. You turn on the TV right now, and every single rapper got locks in their hair. Seems to me that somebody slowly changed the world by being their authentic self. Changed the world so much, in fact, that even her future husband, who didn't always have locks, went through a transformation of his own. Now, I just gotta let y'all know, this is a multicultural church. We all come from different backgrounds. So just so you know, when it comes to black people, you can't just bring up the Jerry curl around black folks. That's a very touchy subject. Like, it's a lot of denial and pain involved with the Jerry curl. We already have excuses ready, you know what I mean? Hey, look, man, it wasn't my fault, dog, all right? I just needed something new. So before I even did this part, I had to ask my stepdad, like, hey, is it cool? Because, yo. Remember that part of Coming to America when Daryl's family got... Man. He had this Camaro, it was real low, so the ceiling was low. You look at the ceiling of the Camaro, just black, like, whoa. Sunny outside, but he got a black cloud following him. This man showed up with a curl, y'all. The big Luther curl. But by being her authentic self, this man went on to have one of the most beautiful crops of dreads I've ever seen in my life. You do yourself and the world a disservice when you don't allow your God self to come forth. It's somebody who needs to see that. Some little girl, some little boy is going to be inspired by your light. But if you hold it in, they don't get that experience. It's important. Staying in alignment with God is how you put your God self forth. This is what the meditation is for. This is what the affirmation and treatments are for reminding you of what the truth is, that you are not disconnected from the source that we call God. So many other philosophies and ideas that exist in this race consciousness may try to detach you from that idea. But the truth is you cannot, even if you tried, detach yourself from God. I don't care what you've done in your past. You will always be connected to that. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to abuse yourself. Right now in this moment, you are one with the source we call God. So many of us are plugged into this idea that we don't even remember who we are anymore. I mean, are your values yours? Or are they somebody else's? Are your dreams yours? Or are you chasing somebody else's dream? Is that even your style that you've been rocking for the past decade? The authentic self is pure love. That's all it is. That's all the authentic self is. If you can't look everybody you come in contact with and see nothing but pure love and a reflection from yourself, something's blocking you. We got work to do. If you can't smile at every single person you come in contact with, we got work to do. I don't care if it's a skinhead. That's a reflection of me right there. And I have nothing to be afraid of. You understand me? There's a reason why the police stopped pulling me over. I used to get pulled over a lot. Could have been them old NWA tapes I was always listening to. Ask somebody what that means. I don't got time right now. I used to get pulled over a lot. And it just dawned on me that right here in Oakland, and we all know how we feel about our PD, that I don't get pulled over anymore. It's because I don't have any entertainment for them. The tags are good, so is my license, and I'm not afraid of you, so all you're gonna get is some good jokes and a hug, homie. If you want me to be scared, you gotta check the next person. I ain't got nothing but love for you. And we all know that bores them, so they keep it moving. They might even have my profile like, oh, that's that dude who smiles at everybody. Just until you can address every person you come in contact with, you are not doing it correctly. The authentic self is pure love. When you are confident in yourself, when you know that God controls your world, no one is a threat in your life at all. If I was to walk up to Michael Jordan and be like, you can't even play hoop that much, you think he'd want to fight me? He'd laugh. Once you know that there's no threats in your life, there's no reason to be angry. There's no reason to hurt your face by mean mugging everybody you see. Quit hurting your face, y'all. We must always check how we put ourselves out there. We always got to check the representative we put forth as us, because that's how we get remembered. See, whatever you are benefiting from, whatever idea, whatever work you are benefiting from, the work, the energy, the consequences that come with that are going to find you eventually. We know that in here, right? Whatever you put out, you get back. So whatever image you are putting forth, whatever's related to that is what you're going to get back. You don't believe me? Try being a gangster rapper and not really being a gangster and see what happens. We see it all the time. The nicest straight A student from the suburbs decides he wants to be a gangster rapper, makes a whole lot of money being a gangster rapper, and then something gangster happens to him. Then he has the nerve to complain that everywhere he goes, he gets shot at. That's what happens to gangsters. They get shot at. Ice-T had a quote where he said, it's easy to convince people that you're a gangster. It's not easy to convince the feds that you are not. So when Murder Inc. Records got raided, and all the money they made from all those that music and that success happened, and everything just got taken from under, I wasn't really surprised that this happened. See, you've been putting forth an image, and that image has energy. There's an energy to every image you put out about yourself. You can't get away from that. So you have to take what also comes with that image. I like to wear baggy jeans. I like to wear baggy coats. When you cross the street, when you look at me, I don't get mad. I know what they show about baggy clothes on TV. I'm still gonna keep doing me. It's unfortunate that you feel that way, but at the same time, that's the energy in the cosmos related to that. So I have to be okay with that. Whatever image you put out, that's the energy you are going to receive from that. Saul Williams, the great poet Saul Williams, said about hip hop that it's the only music that to enjoy it, it starts out as an affirmation. So as soon as the music starts to play, we start nodding our head in affirmation. So that means that whatever the message is, we are affirming it. So if it's all women are bees, we sitting there like this. If it's love yourself, if it's be conscious. If it's watch what you eating, we are nodding our head to that. And let me just say right now, for all the elders out there are plenty of songs talking about that. You just can't hear it on KMEL. Let's stop bashing hip hop. There's great hip hop out there. Y'all just gotta go find it. I don't listen to the radio either. In order to put your God self forth, we have to continue to exercise that thought that God is all there is. We have to constantly work on ourselves because there are illusions out there that can easily distract us and make us think differently. When it comes to your dreams and your goals, you must be authentic. All of us got dreams in here. All of us have things we'd like to see happen in our lives eventually. You can't ride the fence on your dreams. It's like we go to work and we put in 8 hours for someone else's dream. Go home and what? Put maybe like 15 minutes of just dreaming into our dreams? You ain't gonna set a foot forward? Yes, prayer works. Prayer works, it does. I am telling you, prayer works. But not if you pray and sit there. Amen. Pray for what you want, then go get what you want. That's the formula. You don't just pray and then just hope it falls from the sky. Is that what you thought? That's what happened? No. In order to get it, you got to pray for it first and then go get it. What we are doing is reminding ourselves that we are not detached from the source. Jay-Z, the rapper Jay-Z, I have to say the rapper Jay-Z because I keep getting reminded that a lot of these names, these references I'm putting out, a lot of elders are like, who is that? Jay-Z, does he sing with Mahalia Jackson? Let me stop. See, somebody gonna slap me for that. Y'all just stop laughing. Y'all can get me in trouble. Stop. Come on, y'all, for real, stop. We get in trouble. So Jay-Z, after Pac and Big died, and Nas started to kind of fall off, Jay-Z did this tour called the Hard Knock Life Tour. This was the tour that catapulted his career to what it is now. He put out a movie, a documentary of the whole tour. And there's this part in there where he says, somewhere right now, there's a kid who's watching my every move. He's sitting in front of the TV with his cereal. He's studying me. He sees my weak spots, and he wants my spot. And he smiled and said, and I'm going to sign him too, because I don't want no problems. Recently, Dave Chappelle talked about the first time he met Kanye West and knew right then that he was destined for success. He says that they're all in the studio together, all these celebrities. Kanye didn't even have an album out at the time. He was just a beat maker. But he had the swag and the confidence of every single person in that room. And I'm talking about it is Grammys in this room right now. Yes. And while he's talking to Dave Chappelle, Dave had been established by this time. Him and Dave were having a conversation. Matter of fact, Dave said he was talking to Kanye. And Kanye's phone rings. And Kanye interrupts Dave and says, hold on, I have to answer this. And he takes his phone out and he says, yeah, I'm in here right now. Yeah, we got Dave here, we got Common, we got Nas, because my life is dope and I do dope-ish. And he hangs up. And right then is when he said, this man is going to be a star. Didn't even have a song out, and he knew right in that moment, ain't none of these dudes different from me because I am authentic with my dream and I am putting my God self first. Let me go on to say that in these years of my, mid-30s, goodness gracious, that hurt. Whoa. I'm just saying, no, man, it's not real till you actually say it out loud. I'm like mid-30s, goodness. That don't mean the rest of y'all are old. You as old as you feel. Come on now. I'm realizing that jealousy doesn't really play a part in my life anymore. See, we have people we meet in our life. We cross paths and we find people we gravitate to, and there's a magnetic attraction, and we have relatives we love and don't want to see them leave our life. And when you are around these people, you tend to adapt some of their energy. You tend to kind of follow them around, but we have to remember that all of us have our own path we're supposed to be on, even our children. So when someone in my life can't be around me and they have to do their own thing, I have to remember that they're on their own path just like I'm on my own path. And who am I to get in the way of God's business? I have to be okay with that. If there's an experience someone's about to have and doesn't include me, I have to be cool with that. That's called being authentic. See, the ego would say, oh, I don't like that. That makes me feel uncomfortable. But the God self says, go out and get whatever it is you are supposed to be getting. Now, here's the difficult part. In the event of you deciding to be authentic, once we have mastered this new clothing of authenticity, you're going to see a number of things happen. But the first thing is, certain people are going to leave your life. This is a good thing. We're laughing now, but it doesn't always feel like a good thing. Some of us are drawn to each other for superficial reasons. I know that I used to blaze a lot back in the day. That's, thank you, Mom. That's, what did y'all call it? Smoking herb. Yeah. It's herb, right? That's what y'all called it? Did it a lot back in the day. Had plenty of friends I did that with. And there was a time in my life where I made a conscious decision that I didn't want to do that anymore, and I didn't have any friends as soon as I made that decision. I was heartbroken. But I got some new friends. I found other things I like to do. I started working out, and I'm fine now. And guess what? I still have those friends as well. We might not kick it the same anymore, but we're here to evolve anyway. Relationships are for growth. That's all a relationship is to help each other grow. Sometimes once the growth has happened, it's time to move on. We are conditioned to be in constant fear of being made fun of in this country, I've noticed. That's like one of our biggest fears. We don't want to look stupid. We don't want to be made fun of. So when someone is being the most authentic they can be in the moment, when someone really allows themselves to be authentic, and that's really just living in the moment, not worrying about who's looking at you, a lot of times it brings up our own stuff, our own uncomfort, and we may tend to laugh at that person. Even I do it. And what I'm noticing now is what that person is making the effort, making the decision to be in their authentic self, and because it makes me feel weird, I decide to shield that. I don't want to have to deal with that, so let me laugh instead. Then I got the analogy of somebody who goes to the nude beach all the time. They love to go to the nude beach, but they always wearing their clothes. They'll never want to join in the experience of just being free, right? Stop thinking about it like that. Come on, y'all. I know in this country we're taught to look at the body as something taboo, but I haven't even been to a nude beach before. I'm just saying, don't be on the beach all covered up and laughing at everyone else because they have the heart to participate in what's going on. Since a little boy, I've seen Reverend E just get in the silence in any moment. She'll pray out loud. She'll meditate. She'll do whatever right in the moment. I have seen her lose stuff in the supermarket and stand right there and pray out loud. Everybody looking at us. I'm all embarrassed. But she finds her stuff every time, though. Are we worried about what people are going to think? Or are we going to live the life that is right for us? That's what the authentic side looks like. We don't care who's watching us. We don't care who's laughing at us. Matter of fact, that's when you know you're doing it right, when you're getting laughed at. The other thing I've noticed about being authentic is that you got to be willing to forgive. I know, I don't like it either. Forgiveness is being authentic in the flesh. Recently, me and my son's mom have really been working on being peaceful with each other. For the longest, I've been blaming so much stuff on her because that's the easy thing to do. Oh, well, that was all her. Yeah. And I just realized that a few months ago, she actually sent me a text telling me sorry for the things that may have occurred from her end. But I wanted to hold on to that guilt. I wanted to hold on to that anger. I wanted to keep the beef going, so I just didn't respond. I mean, how cruel is that? Someone is telling you, I apologize for the pain I've caused you, and you ignore them instead? And so recently, after months go by, she did the same thing. I took a deep breath. And I put the phone down because I still wasn't ready. And that's when my mother told me what my topic was for this Sunday. Always happens like that. And I immediately told her I apologize for my part in it as well. And now we're raising our son as co-parents, and we're a team, and there's no animosity in between. See, that's called being authentic. She taught me something in that moment. See, I thought, oh, well, I'm a practitioner, so obviously it wasn't me. That was all her. She ain't got one of these purple thingies. Being able to forgive, you can't get any more authentic than that. When you know that God is all there is, when you know that you are attached to God from the source, you know there is nothing anyone can do to you. Nothing can break the bond you have with spirit. So no matter how much that thing hurt that they did, you're able to forgive them automatically when you are being authentic. I thought I was being authentic, and I realized I was not. And I thank her for that. See, when you don't feel the need for material possessions as a means of boosting your self-esteem, you are being authentic. When you allow yourself to feel your emotions fully, no matter who may be around to watch you, you are being authentic. When you accept and pursue the path that the universe has chosen for you, no matter how scary the thought may be, you are being authentic. When you let go of people and situations and habits that no longer serve you, you are being authentic. East Bay, thank you and I love you.